Welcome once again to our 6 minutes together with the Rabbi at the YoungIsraelBethel.org. We're more than happy to share a short Dvar Torah on the goings-on and the weekly Parsha. This week, of course, we know is Parshas Miketz, and it's also Chanukah, the beautiful Yom Tov of miracles. And just as miracles took place by Yom HaMahaim, we are hoping that miracles for the Jewish people will take place Bazman Hazeh. A number of times in Shas, it says that one Rav, one Rabbi, one Tana, or one Amora says to someone in the street, Psok li psukcha, tell me your pasuk, tell me what you're learning. Our Chazal know that always the Parsha of the week or what someone is learning has a connection with the goings-on at the time of his life or the happenings that are taking place at that moment. Parshas Miketz and Chanukah can be no different. There have to be many connections. And in fact, if you look through the various commentaries, you will find a number of connections. One of the most interesting ones is the statement made by Borough Epstein, the author of the Torah Tamima, who says that if you'll notice at the end of every single Parsha, it tells you how many psukim there are in the Sedra. This week's Parsha, of course, being no different, there are 146 psukim. But unusually, the only Sedra in the entire Torah in which it mentions the number of words in the Parsha is Parshas Miketz. And the number of words in Parshas Miketz, it says, is Alpayim Chaf Hey, which equals to 2025. Why is this mentioned at the end of Parshas Miketz? So the Torah Tamima explains, because Alpayim is 2,000. 2,000 is really 8 lights because each candle is called a ner. Ner in numerical value is Nun 50, Resh 200, a total of 250. 250 times 8 is 2,000. And of course the 25 refers to the 25th day in the month of Kislev. So it's mentioned at the end as a cute little reminder of the fact that Parshas Miketz and Chanukah are somewhat interrelated. How is that? Where are all the references to Chanukah and Parshas Miketz? Now, this is a very interesting exercise, and I suppose it would be worthwhile over Shabbos and looking through the Parsha to see if we could find various connections, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu definitely built them in. Even in the Daf Yomi, although we're learning Masechta Yuma, right before Chanukah, we have been learning about the Chashmonaim. It's like it's almost pre-programmed that there's going to be some connection. So I'd like to offer perhaps one very interesting little connection with Parshas Miketz and Chanukah. When Paro tells over to Yosef the dreams that he has, and he asks Yosef, I hear that you're the one who's able to interpret dreams, Yosef answers him and he says, Bilodai, it's not from me. Elokim yan eshalom Paro. God will answer and give the peace of Paro. Hashem is the one who's going to give the answer of the dreams, because, as we know, Asher lelokim pisronim, the interpretations of dreams are God's. What does this have to do with Chanukah? There's a very interesting Tameim and Hogim, which asks one of these seemingly exotic questions. What's the difference between spinning the dreidel and turning the grager? After all, Chanukah and Purim are both rabbinic holidays, and on Chanukah, we spin the dreidel from the top, and on Purim, we turn the grager from the bottom. Why is that? Why is it that on Chanukah we spin from the top, and on Purim we spin from the bottom? So he answers so beautifully, the Tameim and Hagim. He says, look, the miracle of Chanukah took place because of the efforts of all of those down below, as we say in the Alanisim, Rav ta es rivam, dan ta es dinam, nokam ta es nikmasam. You fought their battles, you judged their judgments, you took their revenge, because it was Rabbim biyad ma'atim. It was only a few Jews who were following the Torah and had the temerity to stand up against the big Greek machine and say, we are not going to Hellenize, we are not going to become part of you. So it was Rabbim biyad ma'atim, only a few Jews, and so the help really did not come from the Jewish people themselves, but the help came from above, and so we spin the dreidel from the top. On Purim, we see that Queen Esther said, Kenosas kol Yehudim, gather all the Jews, fast for me, tsumu alive, al tochlu ve'al tishlu, shloshes yomim laila v'yom, fast and don't drink and eat for 3 days. I and my handmaids will also do as such, and whatever happens, I'll go into the king with Hashem's help. And so the tshuva came from underneath, and consequently we spin the grager from the bottom. The help to Paro came from the top. Elokim yana es shalom Paro. God will tell the peace of Paro. The help on Hanukkah came from the top. And just as the help from Hanukkah came on the top in those days, let us hope and pray that the help on Hanukkah comes from the top in our time, both in a personal way, that each and every one of us should be able to find a way to deal with the challenges that all human beings are faced with, and the Jewish people in particular, the challenges that we're faced with at this very difficult time of the world, where the world is speaking about controlling one of the powers that is constantly lying and causing great strife in the world. And the help for dealing with this situation can only come from the top. And so we're going to spin the dreidel from the top on this Hanukkah to remind us that Biladai, it's not from us, but rather Elokim Yana as Shalom Paro, the help is going to come from Hashem. Have a wonderful, happy Hanukkah.